What is going on, YouTube? AlphonZeus of Team Gradelock here with another episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks the Week. We're going to be going over the latest Cardfight Vanguard episode, Ride 171, as well as results from our local and any more news that we have from Team Gradelock to US subscribers. So let's get right into it. Ride 171, spoiler alert. You haven't seen the episode yet, please pause and close the video, go watch that episode, then come back right here so we can discuss about it. Of course, if you don't want to do that, please click on the link in the description down below to get right to the results of our local. Ride 171, Kai the leader, or the leader Kai. Well, either way, now we see our protagonist group get into a bit of a conflict. We see, Kai and Naoki end up getting both burned or beat up by Judgment, which seems like a really close comparison to like, wow, they're actually like gonna kill them. And so, as we move on, they trying to, get rid of Battle Room's rest, recover, whatever. And then they also see Miwa, who was also fighting another member of the Quattro Knights and got his butt beat up. And he almost, I thought he would, it seemed like he would die because like, oh, sorry guys, and just like, this is the type of stuff that happens when somebody is about to die. But, after they all group up, they head back to the Cardfight Capital, or Card Capital in a sense, and when they talk over, it's like silence for the first couple moments, which is a bit depressing because, it's like, oh, we're gonna find Aichi, and then the Quattro Knights come in, they rain judgment on almost everyone. Or at least everyone that knows about Aichi, such as Kai, Miwa, and Naoki. They don't know what to do. And, it seems like Kai brought this on himself when he tried to get people to remember who Aichi was, starting off with Naoki, and then Misaki, moving on to Miwa, and then Kamui. So, it's kind of, okay, we hit this wall, and what are we going to do about it? And, of course, Kai, like the usual Kai move that he does, he wants to go solo because he doesn't want to bring anybody else to, go through the same type of hurtness that at least two of the other people went through. And so, Kai gets stopped by Kamui, and he says, oh, hey, what are you doing? We're a team, alright? We all know about Aichi, alright? You were the one that seeked us out. And, Kai's like, no. And then they end up like, no, yeah, card fight for me for it. And it's like, okay, let's go for it. And so we get to see the Nova Grapplers going up against the Seekers of Royal Paladin, but this time with the Nova Grapplers, we get a little bit of a throwback to the Risers. I definitely had some interesting moments, just seeing some of the old school triggers. Some of the new units was actually pretty cool, like Mega Flare, Dual Flare, oh man, that was really tight. And, of course, it seems like the usual turn 1 move to do is just ride, and then call a 10k attacker to get in some damage. And that's what I feel like it's going to be for a lot of the card fights that are going to happen this season, just because you want to get in a second damage. So the earlier you get damage, the earlier you can use it. The earlier you can, end the game, but of course they get heal triggers, it's kind of bogus. But then as they ride their grade 3s, and then we get to see Thing Saber Dragon again. I don't know why the translation messed up again, but okay, Thing or Sing Saber Dragon, it is. And by the time Kai rides, and then he took all 4 cards from his drop zone, and then did Legion. So, that's kind of something interesting, because it's as if, okay, you don't want to make him drop hand or put stuff in the drop zone to do Legion. But, of course, I guess the earlier you do it, the earlier you can try and counteract that later on. And plus, you won't be as keen to take damage early on as you are if you're at 4 or 5 damage, especially when you have a Legion attack like Sing Saber Dragon. And then Kai is trying to explain that, no, I've done this alone, I'm doing it again, and then Kamui's trying to bring up everything in the past, and we have Miwa, Misaki, and Naoki just looking on, just thinking, wow, come on, Kai, come on, like, we're in this, we know who Aichi is, alright? But Kai's still like that loner type of person, despite the name of the episode. And so, after the Legion attack was done, and okay, now we get to see Kamui go, and he does Legion with the Riser, and oh wow, seeing how they combined to 24k instead of the 20k that I thought, maybe that's something with the skill, I don't possibly know, but that may have been the choice with the Riser that was premiered in the episode, which was turned out to be Mega Flare. And I think with the skill, I guess they gained 3k or 4k and a critical, because just like the Riser series, you want to see how many Risers you have in the soul, and then you see, okay, I have a certain amount, okay, it gets a crit. And that's good. That's really good. And the interesting part about the Legion is that after that big attack, Kai was like, no. And then also after the dust cleared, we get to see the perfect guard, and everybody gets a little bit depressed, like, oh no, we're done for. But this time, Kamui says we still got more, because this is what I drive checked. We drive checked like a grade 3 and a crit, or a heal trigger, and or whatever, heal, crit, whatever. But still, he still had another rear guard to attack with, and Kai didn't have enough in hand. Although I think he could have been intercepting and put the one card in his hand, unless he drove check a grade 3 in one of his earlier drive checks. I don't know, but apparently Kamui beat Kai, and Kai was like, yeah, it's like, oh, it's okay, you stay and stuff. And then Kai, he returned to leave the card capital store, and it's like, what are you doing? Get back here, I beat you. And then Kai, I swear, I thought he was gonna end up still going for it, and he was like, no, you know what, we're gonna fight this together. And everybody breathes a sigh of relief. It's just all good, and it's like, oh my god. It's like, I was about to punch Kai in the face for this, because you just spent at least a couple episodes trying to convince 4 of your friends that Aichi actually exists, and it worked, and then you're gonna ditch him like that. I was gonna punch Kai in the face for that. So by the time the episode was over, and I find a little bit of a strange clip to see the manager trying to tally up pay receipts or something like that, and then the sub manager kind of messing it up, just trolling him really hard because it seemed like he put in a lot of money or something. But it seemed that, okay, we're gonna do this together, and we all go outside. And so I was like, alright, oh, you're leaving? It's like, okay, yeah. And then, alright, we gotta do this. We gotta do this. And so that ends Ride 171. I find that interesting because it's kind of like, okay, this is a conflict that we had. What do we do? We're gonna find it out. And then Kai almost did the loner part, but he ended up leading, and he took up a position that wouldn't really be Kai-esque in a way, because he's not usually a leader. He's usually one of the people that's lining up on the front lines, but not as the leader per se. Because of course, Ren and Aichi respectively have led the teams that they were on, that Kai was a part of. So as we move on to the preview for Ride 172, just seeing that episode, which happened to be, oh god, read Great Dai Kaiser. Yes, I want to see what's going on with that, because I've seen that in the Fighters Collection 2014, and I'm so hyped for that. So I want to see what that's going to turn out to be. It seems that we have Kote going up against one of the members of the Quattro Knights, who has yet to make her premiere. So we get to see what deck she plays, and we get to see at least how Dai Kaiser is going to pair up against that new member, that member of the Quattro Knights. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope Kote gets out with a win with that. And then as we move on, this concludes the episode. If I happen to miss anything, maybe something about the Nova Grapplers or Royal Paladins that I haven't seen yet, please comment down below to get a conversation started. But of course, now, let's get right to our locals. Now, with the local results, I have 2 things to report on, at least from the Friday and Saturday's events. Friday events, there's a tag team tournament, and we had Alex and Henry and Jason and Arturo top 2. So that's cool to see Team Gradelock topping. And it was pretty much almost, well, half of the same composition. Both teams were running Avengers, although on Jason's teams, Jason was running with Joker, and on Henry and Alex's team, Henry was running the Narukami. So it's pretty cool, and like, wow, it's like the consistency is going pretty well, and I'm glad for that. And they managed to pull Pretty Broken out of their packs because they got access to the Set 13 sneak peeks, because Game On was actually doing sneak peek events from Thursday to Sunday, but on Saturday, which I'll get into a bit, we ran out. So, Saturday sneak peek, we had at least maybe like 12 people. Oh no, we had 15 people total, which was the most we had for a sneak peek in quite some time. Because of course, Chaos Breaker. It's always Chaos Breaker. Now, we had Team Dark Matter and a couple of people on on the table near the wall, and then like we had Ian, Henry, Josh, myself, and John. We're just like all in our Team Gradelock pose, and then we had 2 other people with us. So in my draft, I managed to pull a Chaos Breaker Dragon, which is awesome because Josh also pulled one too. And then I also pulled Original Saber 0, which was the break rifle Dimension Police. So when you ride a unit on top of it, minus 5k to the damage. And also, a person actually passed me over Shatnar. So I managed to get 3 different hollows from that sneak peek, which matches how good I've been doing for at least the last sneak peek, which was awesome. And I managed to get knocked down in the 3rd or 4th round because Chaos Breaker Dragon I didn't get, any Star Vader units because I was concerned about having enough grade 1s to not get Gradelock. And a lot of times I ended up running out of triggers, so by the time the duel was over and like I was trying to make my final attack, the guy was guarding and I couldn't bring it up because I was just be like, oh, this duel on the pass. And hopefully I could get some overguarding, but that didn't work out. First round I went up against Eric and the 5K break ride. Oh, Zeros helped out so much in there. And then second round I went up against Rob, and he beat me because he had the card advantage. He had enough cards to guard all my attacks with, even though I did the minus 5K with Original Saber 0 effect. And then third round I went up against Jason. Managed to beat him because he had all the grade 3s in hand, and he wasn't able to guard. Then another round I went up against Sean, and he knocked me out because he had the break ride. He had everything going for him. And he had the field, he had the hand advantage. I couldn't really crack that defense that much. So, he managed to knock me out there and made it to top 4. The top 4 actually came out to be, we have Joe M from Team Dark Matter as well as Rob. And then we also had Joe L, and we had Sean as well. We all made it to top 4. And of course, that's like 37 packs in the prize pool. So that's an insane amount of packs being awarded to. And out of all this, we managed to get at least some stuff going. I know that we're trying to get business cards for our team, but I'll explain that a little bit later. But those are the local results. We really didn't have enough time to run another Cardfight Vanguard tournament since a lot of people already burned out from the from the sneak peek draft that we had. So now the Vanguard news. Oh dear God, there is so much that's been going on because this is a week before the regionals, and we're all trying to get our stuff together. I sold all my hollows and stuff, got my money back, and then gets prepping up for the New York City regionals in White Plains. I know that on my team, Team USA Pals, I managed to go with Alex and Jason, and so far I know Jason's probably going to be running the Beast Deities Extreme. Alex got the MLB with his interesting tech build, and then I got the Dimension Police. I know that the only thing I'm missing for myself is I need 2 die shields because those perfect guards can make or break a Dayusha ride if I have to. So I have to make sure I can get those 2 before Saturday, hopefully. And then we'll see what happens in terms of getting a new, trying to get in everything that we need. Of course, since we won't be there on Saturday, we're going to be on regional, so I'll try and put up some vlogs, and like what we did for the regional last time in Long Island. So I'll try to do a little bit of vlogs right there. And then the next thing that we'll do, we're actually going to be having a team meeting on Friday night because we want to know exactly, okay, how are we going to go into this? Any more practice with the decks? I just want to know because this is a major team regional. And of course, as long as 2 of your teammates win each round, you're golden. As long as 2 win, you're golden. That's it. That's the end of it. And we're getting pretty hyped for it because since set 13 drops on the day before, it's gonna be wow. Because a lot of the past 2 regionals that I've seen, at least I think in Mexico and in Europe respectively, I've seen 90+% defenders and maybe 7% invaders. Now that set 13 is out, it seems that we're gonna get 95% invaders and 5% defenders. Although defenders do have a lot of deck support, and they're not as restricted as the reverse clans because there are still some clans that don't even have a reverse unit. Bermuda Triangle, Oracle Think Tank, and stuff. So, and other news that we have for the Legions. Now, the Legions have been popping up quite a bit because, of course, the text that you can put in the Legion deck would be the Cat Butler as well as the Milk, the Weather Forecaster, and for Nova Grapple and OTT respectively, because in Milk, you still have a grade 2 Vanguard on, sharing the circle with the Legion mate, the grade 3, so you can actually use Milk's effect. As a perfect guard, you don't even need to discard anything, which is good. And then you have the Cat Butler, where you just retire the unit, and then you can restand your Vanguard. And since the grade 2 is Legion with the grade 3, you can have a restanding Vanguard, which is pretty awesome. Although, you'll probably have to alter your deck comp quite a bit. But another new tech that I've been told, one of my friends, Frank, from Team Dark Matter, he actually told me about an interesting one where we get to see a good anti-Legion strategy, at least in the form of Narukami, because in both the Brawlers and Draconic Kaiser Vermilion, their skill is that they can attack the entire front row. Now, since that there are 2 Legion units sharing a vanguard circle, that means that it's you're attacking the whole front row. So that means, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you have to use a perfect guard on both units if you don't want the vanguard to hit them at all. Because since they're battling everything in the front row, that can be a big downfall for the Legion mates. So Narukami has that edge over the rest of the Legion mates. And it seems that we're going to try and need to see what we need, at least for any other units. Because right now, since Narukami is the only, like, the sole tech card so far, that puts them as a really heavy advantage against all the other Legion decks. So that's actually a good tech that was brought up to me. I thought that was really good. Besides that, with all the stuff that's coming out next, I know that there's going to be a buddy fight tournament there, and that's going to be pretty cool because I know a lot of us are in the buddy fight, and I'm getting still psyched up for Dungeon World because I want to get that trial deck, get my flag and stuff like that. Aside from that, this is my last week of finals for me personally, so I just have to get through this week, and then I have no regrets, nothing to worry about, and I can be like, alright, I can practice more. Because after Tuesday, at least, I'll be golden, because now I get to practice my decks more. I get to practice at least the Dimension Police and run with those D-Robos one last time before heading right into the team league. Because I'm starting to get ready. I got my double sleeves up, so it's gonna be a heck of a lot harder for people to try and mark my sleeves. That's a big thing why I also double sleeve as well, because it's easier shuffling. You have to worry about accidentally making marks on them as well, because you have that protected double sleeve to protect them. So that's pretty much what's going on so far as of this week. I know that Jason and Alex are going to be practicing this week as well, and I know that Josh, CK, and Arturo, they're going to be practicing hard too, because they're going to be invaders and my team's going to be defenders. So we're going to see how that works out. Because I know that Chaos Breaker Dragon is going to be a big thing at regional. It's probably going to be, people are going to drop so much money because people are probably going to be selling decks, and Link Joker is probably going to go through the roof because there are so many people that want it. But there's still some clans out there that have proven to be really, really deadly, especially stuff like Aquaforce with Tetradrag Dragon. You also have the reverse units with Ramiel, which is, I guess, kind of okay, and you also have the reverse Leopold, which Great Nature has a great advantage over a lot of the other units because, you know, they have a unit that can be retired. It can be locked, but it can't be retired. So that's a major tech against retired decks, because, you know, you don't lose out on your field, and plus with the Great Nature, C-Stamp Otter is probably gonna go way up, and I feel like Great Nature is definitely a good thing there. Now, I'll try to see if I can do some vlogs. I know I recorded 2 casual series matches. I'm gonna try and see what I can do. If I don't have the casual series match up for tomorrow, I'll definitely have it later this week. For the other casual series match that we recorded, I'm still trying to get it from a friend, so I can upload that as well. And aside from that, I don't have any sneak peek openings because it got really crowded there, and I forgot to. So I was thinking maybe we should probably just hold off on that for a bit. Then, yeah, that pretty much sums up the entire the week that we're gonna be having. So it's gonna be major, and I will provide a vlog compilation video. And yeah. It's gonna be an awesome week. Alrighty guys, that's it for me. My name is AlphonZeus of Team Gradelock. If you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to comment down below and get a conversation started. If not, I hope that you all have a wonderful week that we've unlocked for you here at Team Gradelock, and take care.